The following is transcribed.
Welcome to Condensed Bat-Supe. Now with 66% fewer superheroes than our regular podcast, which makes Condensed Bat-Supe even less nutritious, but still just as delicious. We're featuring episodes of The Adventures of Superman without the Caped Crusaders. Tie on your capes for lots of angry basketball fans, plenty of trumped-up charges, and smug, confident bigots galore! In this edition of Condensed Bat-Supe, we continue yet another exploration into hate and intolerance and how good Americans don't actually put up with that nonsense. It's Chapter 3 of The Knights of the White Carnation, as originally broadcast on February 28th, 1947.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, Clark Kent is sure he is on the right track of a tie-in between a bigoted plot and a cruel murder, little realizing that the chief villain has marked him as the next victim.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. You know, somebody told me the other day that collecting comic buttons in that new series from packages of Kellogg's Pep is just like an exciting treasure hunt. Sure, because you never know just which button you're going to find in the package. Maybe a brand new one that you don't have yet, like the Little Moose or Spud or Superman himself. Or maybe it'll be a duplicate, and that's even more fun because then you can swap with one of your friends. And boy, do you feel like strutting around when you wear your collection of Pep comic buttons pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap. They're true-to-life pictures, you know, done up in bright red, blue, and yellow and black on a gleaming white background. Mighty snappy looking, so keep going, gang. Remind Mom to get you plenty of Kellogg's Pep and look for your comic button inside every package you open. That's right. You don't have to send in any money, not even a box stop. And you can't buy these comic buttons anywhere, but you get a prize in every package of Pep. A prize in good eating, too, because these good whole wheat flakes are loaded with catchy sunshine flavor. A comeback for more flavor that teases you to eat lots. And that makes Mom glad because Pep is good for you, too. So ask her to get P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Now, The Adventures of Superman. The Knights of the White Carnation, a secret organization of metropolis businessmen led by Vincent Kirby, has embarked on a vicious campaign of racial and religious hatred. As his first move, Kirby announced an attempt to break up the Metropolis High School basketball team because 4 of its star players are of foreign ancestry. Then, when Charles Canfield, a prominent industrialist, objected to prejudice of that kind and threatened to expose Kirby and his friends, Canfield was mysteriously stabbed and killed. Yesterday, as you recall, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen attended the opening game of the state championship tourney at the Armory, where Metropolis High was scheduled to play Cedar Falls. But to everyone's amazement, when the Metropolis team took the court, 4 of its star players were missing, and the coach made an announcement to the effect that they had been suspended for having dealt with professional gamblers. As we continue now, the huge crowd is on its feet, stamping in rhythm on the board seats, shouting angry demands for the return of the 4 suspended players. Jimmy Olsen, clutching at Clark Kent's arm, screams above the din to make himself heard.
It's a lie, Mr. Kent. It's a dirty, rotten lie.
Take it easy, Jim.
But I know those fellas. I know every one of them. They wouldn't have anything to do with gamblers if it killed them.
Attention, please. Your attention.
The coach is trying to quiet them down.
That chance he's got.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Oh, this crowd is really angry.
I don't blame them. Metropolis hasn't had a championship basketball team in 10 years. Now that we've got one, look what happens. I'm going down to find out about this.
Wait a minute, Jim. Down where?
Down in the court. I want to talk to the coach. There's something wrong.
Oh, wait, Jim. You'll never get through that crowd. I'll go with you.
Sure, we're packed close in that aisle.
Yeah, I don't like the looks of this. Angry crowds can get out of hand, and before you know it, people are hurt.
Could be.
I've seen it happen. You know where you're going?
Yeah, we've got to go under the grandstand to get to the court. I think it's this way.
Jim, wait.
What's the matter?
Something's wrong.
What?
Great Scott.
What is it, Mr.
Get
Kent?
to a phone quickly, Jim. Call the police emergency squad.
But I...
Don't ask questions. Hurry, Jim.
Okay, but...
Hurry, it's a matter of life and death. Gotta get rid of him somehow. One of the steel girders supporting the grandstand is beginning to bend and crack from that stamping. Off with these clothes. This is a job
For Superman. Leaping up into the air, Clark Kent, now miraculously transformed into the broad-shouldered figure of Superman, straddles the weakened steel girder supporting the grandstand, embraces the center of it in hands that grip the cold metal as though it were held in the jaws of a vise. Straining every muscle in his powerful body, the veins in his neck standing out like whipcords, he literally supports the entire grandstand as it sways under the weight of thousands of screaming, stamping human beings, none of whom are aware of the danger they are in.
This girder snaps, they're doomed. I've got to hold it until the police arrive and quiet them down. I've got to.
Suddenly, off in the distance, Superman hears the eerie wail of police car sirens drawing closer and closer. In a matter of moments, the doors of the huge armory are thrown open, and squads of emergency police swarm in. Soon the mob is quieted. An announcement is made that the game has been called off, and under police direction, the crowd files out. Not until then does Superman release the weakened girder and drop to the concrete floor beneath the grandstand. 5 minutes later, now somewhat recovered from the terrific strain, he hears Jimmy Olsen's voice calling to him.
Mr. Kent! Mr. Kent!
Uh-oh. Get back into Kent's clothes in a hurry.
Mr. Kent, where are you?
Over here, Jim. Under the grandstand.
Oh, I was wondering whether you'd still be here.
Oh, I've been here all the time.
Say, what happened to you?
What?
Oh, golly, you look like someone put you through a ringer.
Do I? Well, I guess I was worried for a while. That steel girder was pretty weak.
What steel girder?
That one up there supporting the grandstand. That's why I told you to get the police to clear the crowd out.
Leaping lizards, we better report it.
I will. Did you find the coach?
No, but I talked with Jack Wilson. He's the team captain.
Oh?
The only one of the regulars left on the team.
Uh-huh.
He said he has something to tell me. He's getting dressed now. We'll meet him outside and take him back to the office.
Okay.
There's a story behind all this, Mr. Kent, and I've got a hunch it's a good one. Come on. All right, Jack. Tell Mr. Kent and me the story now.
Well, there isn't much to tell, Jim. We were all sitting around the dressing room waiting for our chance to warm up on the court when Coach Reed came in. He looked kind of white and scared. He pointed at Tony and Cass and Kaplan and Mike Kelly, and he said, "You four aren't playing tonight. You can get dressed and go home."
No explanation, Jack?
No, sir. And when Tony asked how come, he said he couldn't discuss it. To get dressed and beat it.
Those poor guys must have gone nuts.
Oh, they couldn't say anything. They were like they were struck dumb. So I said something. I said I wasn't going to play either.
Good boy.
Then the coach took me aside and said I had to play for the sake of the team. He told me he got orders from the principal to throw the fellas off the team.
From Mr. Radin?
Yeah.
You mean Mr. Radin told the coach to bounce those four off the team?
No, it wasn't really Mr. Radin. He got orders from somebody else. A man named Mortimer.
Well, who's he?
I know, Jim.
Who is he?
Henry Mortimer, chairman of the school board.
Well, what's he got to do with the basketball team?
That's what I want to know, Jim. And I'm going to find out tonight. Sorry to have to bother you at this time of the night, Mr. Mortimer, but as chairman of the school board, you should be able to answer a few questions and perhaps issue a statement.
I have nothing to say at this time, Mr. Kent. If you wish to interview me, I suggest you call my office in the morning and arrange an appointment with my secretary.
Oh, so that's how it is.
Yes, Mr. Kent, that's how it is. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Just a minute. You were the one who issued the order suspending Rizzuti, Kaplan, Pulaski, and Kelly from the Metropolis High School basketball team, right?
I informed the principal of the school that the young men in question were to be temporarily forbidden to play
Why?
because of evidence that they were in collusion with professional gamblers.
Where's the evidence? I want to see it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kent, but you can't see it.
Because it doesn't exist?
How dare you? If you don't leave at once, I'll call the police.
Oh, I'll leave. But before I do, let me tell you something. You were directly responsible for making a public statement to the effect that 4 high school students were involved with gamblers. You as much as branded them as crooks. You informed the thousands of people who were at the armory tonight, and the millions more who will read about it in the papers, that those 4 boys are dishonest and not to be trusted.
I did no such thing.
There are laws against slander, Mr. Mortimer, particularly criminal slander. People have gone to jail for what you've done. But that's not the worst of it. You may have heard that last night a man named Charles Canfield was stabbed and killed on the street outside his house. I have a faint suspicion that there's a connection between his death and the dismissal of the 4 basketball players.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Perhaps not, but let me warn you. I think you're getting yourself mixed up in something dangerous. You may be the next one to end up with a knife in your back.
Pointing an accusing finger at the chairman of the Metropolis School Board, Clark Kent watches the nervous, prissy little man turn ghastly white. We'll learn what happens in a moment, so keep listening.
You know, one of the exciting things about collecting those swell comic buttons in the new series from Packages of Kellogg's Pep is that you already know the characters. Sure, you've been following their doings in the funny papers for ages. So when you get a button with Chief Brandon's picture on it, for example, well, it's sort of like meeting up with an old friend. And the same goes for Brenda Starr and Superman and all the rest of the 18 different funny paper characters. And that's one reason why you won't want to miss out on a single one. And another reason is the fun of trading duplicates and wearing these smart-looking Pep comic buttons pinned on your jacket or your dress or your cap. So you better get busy. Make sure that Mom gets you some more Kellogg's Pep over the weekend, because that's the only way you can get these comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. They're Pep's exclusive prizes. And Pep's the cereal to make breakfast something terrific, too. Those tender whole wheat flakes are crisp and fresh and full up with catchy sunshine flavor. Mighty good and mighty good for you. Just the thing to warm up your appetite on a frosty morning. That's P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Frightened by Clark Kent, who warned him that he might end up with a knife in his back, Henry Mortimer, chairman of the Metropolis School Board, lost no time in contacting Vincent Kirby, the man who instructed him to suspend the 4 high school basketball players. As we continue now, it is almost midnight. Kirby has just ushered Mortimer into the study of his sumptuous town house. He closes the door behind him.
All right now. What's so important that made you think it necessary to get me out of bed in the middle of the night?
A man named Kent came to see me. He's a newspaper reporter.
The Daily Planet?
Yes. He said I was guilty of criminal slander in accusing those 4 boys of dealing with gamblers.
And you believed him?
Well, that wasn't all. He said that I was getting mixed up in something dangerous. And he warned me that I might end up with a knife in my back like Charles Canfield.
What? What's that?
He
Well,
said...
never mind. I heard you.
Mr. Kirby, you know I didn't want to do it. You know I didn't agree with you when you said those boys were foreigners, but you forced me to do it. You said I'd lose my appointment if I didn't, and
now you're getting cold feet, is that it?
I don't want to get mixed up in anything.
You don't want to die with a knife in your back.
Please don't say things like that.
I should have known better than to get mixed up with a chicken heart like you.
Please, Mr.
Stop
Kirby.
whining. You're perfectly safe. Nothing's going to happen to you. Tomorrow you can make another announcement. Put the 4 dirty little foreigners back in the team. And now I'll handle this myself in my own way. And in case Mr. Clark Kent calls on you again, you might tell him that he won't look very pretty with a knife in his back either.
With his steel gray eyes slitted and his mouth drawn in a hard, thin line, Vincent Kirby, cold-blooded leader of the Knights of the White Carnation, creators of hatred and intolerance, takes matters into his own hands. Kirby has flung a challenge at Clark Kent, who, so far as he knows, is a mild-mannered reporter. But unknowingly, his challenge has been made to Superman. And that means he's in for plenty of action. Action is the keynote of this exciting story from now on, gang. So don't miss a single minute of it. Whatever you do, don't forget to be with us again on Monday, when the Man of Steel begins his relentless campaign to expose the vicious Knights of the White Carnation. Be sure to tune in again Monday. Same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
And now, faster than a speeding bullet, Condensed Bat-Supe proudly presents Chapter 4 of The Knights of the White Carnation, as originally broadcast on March 3rd, 1947.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, Clark Kent learns that although 4 boys on the Metropolis High basketball team have been cleared of all bribery charges, they are now threatened by a new danger.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. Say, you don't want to miss out on any fun, do you? Well, you better join up with the other kids who are collecting that exciting new series of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep. Because you don't want to be out in the cold when the fellows and girls compare notes and tell how many different Pep comic buttons they've collected so far and swap their duplicates. And say you wouldn't want to miss wearing those nifty-looking buttons on your jacket or your dress or cap, because they really are nifty, bright-colored and flashy, with the pictures of your funny paper favorites standing out clear and sharp as anything. Old friends like Tess Trueheart and Beezy and Superman himself. Now, there were 18 new and different buttons in this new series, so you better hop to it. Ask Mom to get you plenty of Kellogg's Pep. That's the only way you can get these Pep comic buttons, you know. You don't send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere. But there's a prize in every package of Kellogg's Pep. And say, there's a load of good eating, too. A super delicious dish for breakfast, because these golden toasted whole wheat flakes are full of catchy sunshine flavor, crisp and fresh as can be. So ask Mom for P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
And now the Adventures of Superman. Calling themselves the Knights of the White Carnation, a group of race haters determined to break up the Metropolis High School basketball team because of their intolerance for 4 of the star players who are of foreign ancestry. Their first act was to arrange for the murder of a prominent businessman who had threatened to expose them. Then Vincent Kirby, leader of the hate group, persuaded the chairman of the school board, a man who owed his position to Kirby's influence, to bar the 4 Metropolis stars on a charge that they were dealing with professional gamblers. Clark Kent, who, as we know, is Superman, threw the weight of the Daily Planet behind his demand that Mr. Mortimer, the school board chairman, either submit evidence against the boys or withdraw his charges. Frightened, Mortimer went to Kirby, who told him to reinstate the boys, saying they would be taken care of in another way. As we continue, late the following afternoon, we find Cub reporter Jimmy Olsen in Kent's office at the Daily Planet. Listen.
Any word from Mortimer yet, Mr. Kent?
No, not yet, Jim.
Gee whiz, the game with Cedar Falls goes on tonight. If Rizzuti, Kaplan, Pulaski, and Kelly can't play, we'll get skunked.
I know, but...
That'll be awful. This is the opening game for the state championship.
Look, Jim, there's something far more important than a game involved. It's that those 4 boys are accused of conspiring to throw a game. That's a criminal offense in this state.
Jeepers, you mean they may go to jail?
They're proved guilty, they will.
But they're not guilty. I know them. They're swell guys.
I know, Jim.
You heard what Coach Reed said, too.
Yes, but
And
that
Mr. Radin, the principal of Metropolis High. He doesn't believe it either.
Neither do I.
I tell you, somebody's trying to frame him, that's what.
That may very well be, Jim. But Mr. Mortimer, chairman of the school board, said he has evidence that the boys were in the pay of gamblers.
Oh, yeah? Well, where is his evidence?
Well,
why doesn't he come up with
Jim,
it?
take it easy. Mr. Mortimer promised to complete his investigation today. Either produce the evidence or withdraw the charges against the boys by 6 o'clock. So you
But
just...
it's almost 6 now. 10 minutes of.
All right, now relax. Mortimer will issue a statement one way or the other. You can depend on that.
Well, I can't see what's holding him up. The game starts at 8:30, and without Tony and Cass...
Hey, Jim, get a load of this.
Huh? What, Beanie?
This flash just came over the city wires. Here, read it for yourself.
What's up, Beanie?
Oh, hello, Mr. Kent. I didn't notice you.
That's all right. It's all the excitement about.
Leaping lizards.
Ain't that something, Jim?
Listen to this, Mr. Kent.
What?
Henry Mortimer, chairman of the school board, announced today that following a complete investigation of bribery charges against 4 Metropolis High School basketball stars, He has found the evidence inconclusive and is immediately reinstating the 4 athletes.
Hey, that's wonderful, Jim.
Ain't it, though? Now we can't lose tonight.
You said it. Boy, am I happy.
Good news, all right. Hey, you better get that flash to the city desk right away, Beanie.
I'm on my way. See you at the game.
You bet.
Well, there you are, Jim.
Yeah. But I'll bet Mortimer wouldn't have worked so fast if you hadn't put the heat on him, Mr. Kent.
Oh, I don't know. But I do think he should have made a more careful investigation before he suspended the boys, though.
Oh, he sure should have. Why, he could...
Just a moment, Jim. That's my phone. Hello? Jim Olsen? Yes, he's right here. Just a moment, please.
For me?
Uh-huh. Somebody who sounds excited.
Oh. Hello, Jim Olsen. Who? Oh, yes, Mr. Reed. Listen, we just heard about Mr. Mortimer clearing... What? You have? Oh, I see. Oh, sure I can. You bet. I'll be right over, and I'll bring Mr. Kent along. Right away. So long.
It's all excitement, Jim.
Well, that was Mr. Reed. You know, Metropolis High coach.
Yes?
He said something just happened.
What?
A terrific story. He wants me to come right over to his house and to bring you along.
What are we waiting for? Let's go.
Why is your face all cut and bruised, Mr. Reed? You look like you were in a fight.
Well, I was, Jim.
You were? Well, who with? Why didn't you...
Hold it, Jim. Hold it. Mr. Reed asked us out here to listen to a story, not to ask questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I've got a story, all right, Mr. Kent. A terrific story.
Go right ahead. Spill it. We're all ears.
Yeah, shoot.
All right. Earlier this evening, I was just sitting down to supper when the bell rang. I went to the door, and a man was standing there, a tall, wiry fellow with a sallow face and sharp, glittering little eyes. As soon as I opened the door, he stepped in.
Dick Reed, coach of the Metropolis High basketball team, ain't you?
Yes, who are you?
Just call me Joe.
All right, Joe. What do you want to see me about?
About the game tonight.
Oh, what about it?
Let's close the door. That's better. Now, I just heard those 4 kids, the ones who were suspended last night, got a clean bill of health.
Yes, that's right. What about it?
Just this. I don't want those boys to play tonight.
What's that?
You heard me. Now, it's worth $1,000 to me to keep those boys from playing.
Now, look here, Joe, or whatever your name is.
Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Don't tell me you can't use $1,000 because I know you get peanuts for teaching high school and coaching basketball.
I'll admit the teaching profession isn't very well paid, but I don't see what...
Reed, don't be a chump. With Pulaski, Kaplan, Rizzuti, and Kelly in the lineup tonight, the suckers figure Metropolis will take Cedar Falls like falling off a log, see?
What suckers?
The betters. They're breaking their necks for a chance to bet 3-1 on Metropolis.
Oh.
And I'm taking those bets, see? So you can make yourself $1,000 by making sure Cedar Falls wins.
So that's it, huh?
Yeah. Simple, ain't it? All you gotta do to keep those 4 kids out of the game is to say you're not satisfied their reputations are all clean, or they're too jittery after what just happened to play good. Get it?
Yes. Yes, I get it, all right.
Well, what do you say?
Beat it.
Now, wait a minute.
You heard me. The door's open, so get out before I throw you out.
Look, don't be stupid,
Get
Reed.
out, I said, before I lose my temper. I happen to like athletics, but I don't like crooked gamblers who try to dirty it up.
Okay, stupid. If you don't want to play ball with me, I'll have to really get tough, and that'll be
can't bluff me, you cheap crook. Get out.
You're asking for this, boy. Now I'll...
And then he whipped out a knife and went after me with it.
Gee whiz, a knife.
Yes. Fortunately, I managed to beat him off, and he ran down the steps and disappeared in the dark.
Did you report this to the police?
Not yet, Mr. Kent.
You've got to do so at once. You're in danger.
Oh, I don't think that fellow will tackle me again.
You can't be sure, Mr. Reed. What's more, I think those 4 players, Rizzuti, Pulaski, Kelly, and Kaplan, are in danger, too.
I think Mr. Kent's right.
Say, I didn't think of that.
Look, where are the boys now?
Why, they're at home. No. Now, wait a minute. It's 7 o'clock. They'll be on their way to the high school. We're to meet there at 7:15 and drive to the Armory.
Uh-oh.
Jim, get Inspector Henderson on the phone.
Okay, Mr. Kent.
Ask him to send a police escort to Metropolis High. We'll escort Mr. Reed to the school, and the police can take over from there. Hurry!
As Jim goes out to contact the police, Coach Reed's late opponent, Joe, is walking up a dark street near Metropolis High School. The husky man wearing a shabby overcoat and cap.
dirty Reed, he almost broke my arm.
He was tough, Joe, huh?
Yeah, but I'll fix him. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
What do you mean? If he lets those 4 kids play tonight, Metropolis will win.
Oh, no, they won't, Fargo.
Sure they will. Those kids are good.
It won't matter how good they are. Wait a minute, hold it.
Huh? What you stopping for?
This is where we stand and wait. See that apartment building across the street?
Yeah. What about it?
Just keep your eyes open and do what I tell you. And Metropolis will lose tonight sure as shoot.
His small eyes glittering in his sallow face, wiry Joe crouches in the dark shadows with his companion Fargo.
How does he plan to make certain that Metropolis High will lose tonight? We'll be back in a moment to find out. So stand by.
Say, here's something about that new series of comic buttons that now come in packages of Kellogg's Pep that's sure to make a hit with you. You'll have these Pep comic buttons a long, long time because they're enameled on real sturdy metal. And those bright colors are long-lasting, too. Why, you'll want to keep right on wearing those smart-looking buttons pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap so that everybody can see how many you've collected. And as for doggone good fun, why, you can't beat the excitement of trading duplicates. And you know, each character is straight from the funny papers. There's Pat Patton and Tess Trueheart, Chief Brandon, Vitamin Flintheart, and Judy and Corky, and Superman, of course. 18 new and different buttons and all. So you better get busy, gang. Remind Mom to keep you supplied with plenty of Kellogg's Pep, because these are the prize packages where you get your comic buttons. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in any money, not even a box top. But whenever you open a package of Kellogg's Pep, there's your comic button. And say, think of all that super delicious eating Pep gives you for breakfast. Those good whole wheat flakes are packed with wonderful, catchy sunshine flavor. So ask Mom for P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
In the shadows of a dark street across from an apartment building, the man called Joe suddenly stiffens and presses the arm of his companion Fargo as 2 boys emerge from the building and start across the street.
Okay, Fargo, get ready. Here they come.
You sure they're the right ones, Joe?
Yeah, that's Cass Pulaski and Tony Rizzuti. You know what to do now?
Yeah, just leave it to me.
Okay, Fargo, let him have it!
Leaping on the 2 young high school athletes, Joe and Fargo strike out at them savagely. And unprepared for the cowardly attack, Cass Pulaski and Tony Rizzuti stagger, then fall to the pavement. Is it only a grim stroke of fate that Cass Pulaski and Tony Rizzuti, 2 of the boys marked for danger by the intolerant Knights of the White Carnation, have been struck down on the eve of a big game by vicious thugs? We'll know more tomorrow, gang, so don't miss the next exciting episode when Superman and his friends encounter new and startling developments in their campaign to expose the hate-mongering Knights of the White Carnation. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow. Same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
It's time for a Condensed Bat-Supe Extra Helping, because sometimes holiday fun can be a bit fraught. This time, we celebrate the 4th of July with the gang from Madison High, even though they're on summer vacation. It's a July 4th trip to Eagle Springs with Our Miss Brooks, as originally broadcast on July 3rd, 1949.
Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden. When the 4th of July weekend arrived at Madison High Summer School, it was welcomed most enthusiastically by our Miss Brooks, who teaches English there.
I don't know why I looked forward to such a brief holiday with such keen anticipation. I like my work, and I'm very fond of my pupils. Then there's the school principal, Mr. Osgood Conklin. Well, what do you know? I just found out why I look forward to such a brief holiday with such keen anticipation. Mr. Conklin and I never have been what the scientists call chemical affinities. But last week we really reached the ultimate in mutual harassment. I would hesitate to describe Mr. Conklin's temper as volcanic, but by last Thursday I would swear I saw a thin trickle of lava flowing out of his ears. I was telling my landlady, Mrs. Davis, about it Friday morning at breakfast. He hasn't been this irritable since last month when I broke his new glasses.
My goodness, Connie. How did you do that?
It was an accident, Mrs. Davis. They broke when we both bent down at the same time.
You both bent down?
Yes, to pick up a hammer I had dropped on his foot.
Osgood is certainly hard to get along with. Oh, Connie, did you say you wanted tea or coffee this morning?
I said I wanted milk, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, of course you did. I'm getting so absent-minded lately. Almost as bad as my sister Angela.
How is Angela, Mrs. Davis?
Angela?
Your sister.
Oh. She's terribly absent-minded, poor dear. Why, the other morning, do you know what she did?
No, what?
She found herself with 1 foot in the bathtub and 1 foot out of the bathtub.
Well, there's nothing absent-minded about that. It happens to most of us, sooner or later.
But Angela couldn't remember whether she was just getting into the tub or whether she was just getting out.
Well, that is a dilemma. What did she do?
She let the water out and took a shower. Now, I'd better get you that hot chocolate you wanted.
It's milk, Mrs. Davis, and it's right here on the table. Can I pour some for you?
Oh, no, thanks, Connie. I never drink milk in the morning. It keeps me up all day.
Maybe we should have gone on talking about Mr. Conklin.
Say, that reminds me, Connie. How's Mr. Conklin been treating you lately?
You should have seen him yesterday when I stopped in at his office to get my check.
Was he very disagreeable, Connie?
Not at first. That's what's so confusing. When I sat down to sign for the check, he was extremely civil to me, almost courteous. And then in a few seconds, boom, his whole attitude changed.
But why?
That's what I'd like to know. You think I spilled that bottle of ink on his coat purposely?
Oh, Connie, not a bottle of ink.
I couldn't help it, Mrs. Davis, and I tried my best to get out the spots.
With what?
With spot remover, of course. Or at least I thought it was spot remover. It isn't my fault that Mr. Conklin keeps ammonia in his desk, is it?
Ammonia? But, Connie, ammonia will just burn right through the cloth.
Please, Mrs. Davis, you sound just like Mr. Conklin. But I won't be running into him for the next few days, thank goodness. I'm going away for the July 4th weekend.
But, Connie, can you afford to go away?
On my salary, I can't afford to stay home. But I've made up my mind to do it if I have to go without lunch for a week. And guess where I'm going, Mrs. Davis?
Where?
To Eagle Springs. And guess what bashful scientist is going to get the surprise of his life because he's going there, too, and doesn't know I'm coming?
It's not Mr. Boynton.
It ain't Al Einstein. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mrs. Davis, I'll get ready for school. Walter Denton should be picking me up pretty soon.
Oh, I'm sorry, Connie, but there's something I forgot to tell you. Walter called while you were in the shower and said he can't pick you up this morning.
Oh, great. And my car won't budge.
What's the matter with it, Connie?
I don't know exactly. Last time I went out to the garage to look at it, it was lying on its side, panting.
Walter said he hoped you'd understand, but he had to drive Mr. Conklin to the doctor's this morning.
The doctor's? Why, that's a shame. I wonder what's wrong with poor Mr. Conklin.
Well, Osgood, I can't seem to find anything radically wrong with your physical condition, outside of a slightly elevated blood pressure, that is.
What is my blood pressure, Dr. Haney?
Oh, nothing to worry about, Osgood. Around 180, I'd say. Of course, if it gets to 200, I'd advise you to sell.
If there's one thing I've always wanted, it's a comical physician. Now tell me, Doctor, what's wrong with me?
Well, I can't discover any physical symptoms, Osgood, but there's no doubt about it. Something seems to be troubling you mentally. Now, what is it?
It isn't a what, it's a who. And what a who. Even when we're not together, I can still see her face before me.
But Osgood, who is this woman?
It's Miss Brooks, Doctor. She teaches English at Madison.
It seems to me, Osgood, if Miss Brooks grates on your nerves so much, you shouldn't let her cross your path. Avoid contact with her whenever possible. As a matter of fact, I recommend that you leave town for a few days.
That's it. I'll do it. I'll go away for the 4th of July weekend. But where?
Oh, it doesn't matter where. Do your world of good to get away for a few days. Say, now, maybe I can help you.
You?
Why, sure. I know the squaw in charge of reservations on the chief. Oh,
it will be good to get away.
Hello, Miss Brooks. You're just the person I wanted to see.
Good morning, Harriet. What can I do for you?
It's Daddy, Miss Brooks. I'm real worried about him. Last night he cried out in his sleep several times. Mother had to keep waking him up, and once in his sleep he screamed out your name.
My name?
Yes. That's when Mother had to tie him to the bed.
I think I can explain your father's nocturnal penchant for screaming my name, Harriet. We've spent the better part of this week exchanging unpleasantries.
Then Daddy did have words with you?
Harriet, your daddy had words that I wouldn't repeat in front of a sailor.
He was extremely nervous this morning when Walter Denton drove him to the doctor's.
Well, I hope his doctor has a good doctor. Now, if you'll excuse me, Harriet, I'll run along to class.
Just a minute, Miss Brooks. Here's Daddy now.
Oh, good morning, Harriet. Well, the doctor says there's nothing wrong with me physically at all.
I knew it. You look better already.
Thank you, my dear.
Good morning, Mr. Conklin. He just took a turn for the worse.
Good morning, Miss Brooks. So far. I'd better get into my office now. I'll see you later, Harriet.
All right, Daddy. But what's the umbrella for?
It looked like rain when I left for the doctor's. Oh, by the way, it's a rather sturdy umbrella, Miss Brooks. Care to whack me over the head with it to start off the day?
Oh, of course not, Mr. Conklin.
You're sure now?
I'll take a rain check. I'm positive. Oh, hold still a minute, Mr. Conklin. There's a thread hanging from the lapel of your coat. I'll pull it out for you.
You needn't bother.
It's no bother. I'll pull it out in just a second. There, that does it. No, there seems to be more. Hold still, please.
I'm waiting, Miss Brooks.
I'm pulling, Mr. Conklin.
His lapel looks all right, Miss Brooks.
Oh, I'm getting it now. This a new suit, Mr. Conklin?
Yes. Yes, it is. No doubt you remember my old suit, Miss Brooks. The one with the ink spots.
Ink spots? How in the world did you get... Oh, that one.
Yes, that one. I thought you'd like to know that I cleaned Walter Denton's windshield with it this morning.
Well, it certainly needed it. I'm sorry about your suit, Mr. Conklin, but say, this is funny. There doesn't seem to be any end to this thread.
So I see. Miss Brooks, would you be good enough to give me the ball of thread you're holding in your hand? I'll have another lapel sewn on.
Oh, forgive me, Mr. Conklin. I didn't realize
My brand new suit. 2 pairs of pants and 1 lapel. Let me in that office immediately. Step aside, Harry.
But, Daddy... Daddy seems quite annoyed at you this morning, doesn't he, Miss Brooks?
I think so. In fact, there's an old Eskimo saying that describes his feelings toward me perfectly. It goes, Pulikamu konakrio exo.
What does that mean?
Baby, it's cold outside.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith. Here's wonderful news, ladies. Wonderful, wonderful news. Now there's something thrillingly new in Palmolive Soap's famous Beauty Lather. Yes, something thrillingly new. Palmolive's famous Beauty Lather now brings you new fragrance, new charm, new allure.
Millions of women will prefer Beauty Lather Palmolive over all other leading toilet soaps the minute they try it. For Palmolive Soap's famous Beauty Lather now has a new, clean, flower-fresh fragrance. For new allure, new charm.
So, ladies, forget all other beauty care and use Palmolive Soap the way doctors advised for a lovelier complexion. Just stop improper cleansing and instead wash your face with Palmolive Soap 3 times a day, massaging Palmolive's wonderful Beauty Lather onto your skin for 60 seconds each time to get its full beautifying effect. Then rinse. That's all. All types of skin, young, older, oily, respond to it quickly. Don't wait another day to try Palmolive's Beauty Lather. You'll be thrilled by its new fragrance, new charm, new allure. Thrilled again by the fresher, brighter complexion doctors prove may soon be yours.
For new loveliness all over, use big bath-size Palmolive in tub or shower.
Well, I had no further encounters with Mr. Conklin during my first class, and while waiting for another session to begin, I was bolstered by the thought that I'd soon be on my way to Eagle Springs for the 4th of July weekend. While I was marking some composition papers, Walter Denton returned from the errand I'd sent him on.
Excuse me, Miss Brooks, but I'm back.
Did you get me a ticket to Eagle Springs, Walter?
Sure, Miss Brooks, but first I told Mr. Boynton I was going to the railroad station on an errand, and then I volunteered to pick up his ticket to Eagle Springs for him. And when he gave me the money, I just added what you'd given me and bought 2 tickets. Seats 208 and 209 in the parlor car. Right smack up against each other.
Why, Walter Denton, where did you ever get such a diabolical scheme?
From you. Now, don't you remember, Miss Brooks? You laid the whole thing out for me.
Never mind, Walter. Are you sure the seats are together?
Positive. And it was a lucky break I got any seats at all. The trains are sure crowded for this 4th of July weekend. Gosh, the station was alive with travelers.
Those are the best kind. Now, look, Walter. You have got to promise me you won't mention my trip to a soul. I don't want Mr. Boynton to know I'm going to Eagle Springs until he sits down next to me on that train.
You have my word as a gentleman and a scholar.
I've just read your composition. Your word as a gentleman will do.
No, all kidding aside, Miss Brooks, how did you like my composition? Great baseball yarn, isn't it?
Frankly, Walter, it's a little hard for me to judge. I know how crazy you are about baseball. I'd like to be fair in marking your composition, but, well, this time you've really got me stumped.
But why?
Maybe it's because the first 6 pages contain nothing but the American League box scores.
I just put that in to make it more dramatic.
Well, some of it is pretty exciting at that. I remember one very eloquent phrase that keeps recurring in the story. Had me right on the edge of my seat. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. Coleman to Sternweiss to Phillips.
That's a famous double play combination. You know, on the Yankees.
Oh, Yankees, of course. The northern team. Now, you'd better be getting on to your next class.
Okay, Miss Brooks. Oh, before I go, is there anything I can do for you while you're out of town?
Yes, Walter. Come to think of it, there is something you can do. You'll probably be seeing a lot of Harriet Conklin over the weekend, won't you?
That's for sure.
Well, you can do me this one big favor. Whenever Mr. Conklin's in the vicinity, please don't mention my name.
When Mr. Conklin's in the vicinity, I'm usually not. He hates me, you know.
You're not the only one. But just don't talk about me when he's around. I'm hoping he'll cool down a bit while I'm away. Oh, there's that pesky fly again. He's been in here all morning.
I'll be darned if I'd hang around summer school all day if I was a fly.
Maybe he needs the credits. Hand me that fly swatter, Walter. Thanks.
Oh, he lit over here on the door, Miss Brooks. I'll open it and let him fly out.
No, don't, Walter. He looks like a germ carrier. I think I've got a good bead on the little pest. Here goes.
Fortunately, I get my glasses wholesale.
Mr. Conklin.
And now that you've warmed up, Miss Brooks, how about trying the umbrella?
It was an accident, Mr. Conklin. Miss Brooks didn't mean to hit you. She was after that other pest. I mean, the fly.
Well, if it isn't Walter Denton. I've hit the jackpot this time.
Oh, please, Mr. Conklin, if you'll just sit down a minute.
Yeah, Mr. Conklin, just have a seat. I'll gather your glasses for you.
Yes. Oh, Denton.
Yes, sir?
Get out!
Yes, sir! That is, yes, sir.
Miss Brooks, the reason I came in here was to inform you, as I have the other members of the faculty, that I'm going away for a while.
Away? For how long, Mr. Conklin?
Well, this morning I planned on staying away for just 3 days. But then, when you siphoned off one of my lapels, I decided to make it 4 or 5. And just now, when you flogged me with that fly swatter, I realized I'll need at least a week.
Mr. Conklin, I won't deny that a series of extremely unfortunate incidents have occurred.
How very broad-minded of you. Well, there won't be any more of them for me, at least not for the next week. I always thought I was a man of more than average courage, Miss Brooks, but I've discovered recently that I'm not.
Please, Mr.
It's true. I am a coward, Miss Brooks. But be that as it may, I am determined to live long enough to be an old coward. Hence, I am about to flee the city.
But where are you going, Mr. Conklin?
I don't know yet. I've called the railroad station, but their trains are all jammed with 4th of July weekenders. However...
Yes, I know. It's very crowded on almost all
the
trains.
I haven't finished talking, Miss Brooks. I was about to say, however, I'm going to try the airport this afternoon. Maybe I can get a plane for somewhere. Oh, that's a very annoying fly.
Oh, I've got the swatter, Mr. Conklin. I'll get it this time. You just sit still.
No, I'll get out of this seat if you don't mind.
You got up, Mr. Conklin.
As I was saying, Miss Brooks, I'll go to the airport. If I can't get a plane from somewhere, I may fly somewhere without a plane!
So, class, it only requires a little concentration to avoid embarrassing mistakes in conversation. We'll take up next the works of Lord Byron. That's all for now. Class dismissed, and have a nice weekend.
Oh, excuse me, Miss Brooks. Could I see you for a minute?
Why, Mr. Boynton, you may see me for longer than that. Come in, won't you?
I just wanted to say goodbye, Miss Brooks.
Oh? Going somewhere?
Yes. Walter Denton just got me a ticket on the 4:15 to Eagle Springs. I'm going to spend the 4th of July weekend up there.
How nice for you, Mr. Boynton. It should do you a world of good.
Yes, I really need the rest. I've been working pretty hard lately. Still, I want you to know I'll miss our regular Friday afternoon date, Miss Brooks.
I don't see why. That was a pretty tiresome crowd we were running around with.
Miss Brooks, we went to the zoo on Fridays.
That's what I mean. Every week, the same old hairy faces.
Well, it does a man good to get away from town every so often. Gives him a chance to think things out. Commune with nature, as it were. You know, I like to get next to Mother Nature once in a while.
Now, isn't that funny? I feel the same way about Father Nature. That is, I'm sure you'll have a lovely time, Mr. Boynton.
I knew you'd understand, Miss Brooks. Walter got me a seat in the parlor car. They usually come in twos, you know.
Do they?
Yes, I hope someone nice sits next to me. It's quite a long trip, and a friendly traveling companion can make the time pass much more pleasantly.
I'm sure you'll draw the doll of the world.
No, not me. Just my luck. I'll probably wind up alongside some big fat dunce.
I mean, it's silly to even speculate about your train partner, Mr. Boynton. Forget it for now.
Well, if only he has a good sense of humor. I remember the last trip I took to New York. On my way back, I sat right next to George S. Kaufman, the famous playwright.
Really? How was his sense of humor?
You'd be surprised. It wasn't so good. I told him one of my best gags, too. You know the one where I make my shoes squeak on purpose? Well, when Kaufman asked me if they were new shoes, I said, "Shoes nothing. Those are my Blue Jay cornplasters chirping." Now, you know that's funny.
It's a scream. How did Mr. Kaufman react?
He took 2 Alka-Seltzers and went to sleep.
Probably jealous because he didn't make it up.
Well, I guess I better be leaving now, Miss Brooks. I've still got to say goodbye to Mr. Conklin.
Well, whatever you do, don't mention my name to him. This is one of my bad days.
Miss Brooks, you shouldn't fight with Mr. Conklin.
I'm not fighting with him, Mr. Boynton. Why, Mr. Conklin would be the first to admit that we'd get along splendidly together if it weren't for just one thing.
What's that?
Me.
Come in.
Oh, I just dropped in to say goodbye, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, sit down a minute, Boynton. I'm just getting some information from the Travel Bureau. What did you say the name of that train was again? The Snake Eyes Limited? No, I'm afraid I don't care to go as far as Las Vegas. Goodbye. Now then, you were saying?
Just goodbye, Mr. Conklin. I'm going up to Eagle Springs for the weekend.
Eagle Springs? But you won't be able to get a train ticket. I've tried every which way to get out of this town, and it's just impossible.
Oh, not for me, it isn't. I've got my ticket right here. Seat 209 in the parlor car on the 415.
Let's see that ticket, Boynton. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be running along now, if you don't mind.
Just a moment, Boynton. Boynton, I've always looked upon you as one of the outstanding members of Madison's faculty. Not just as a teacher, mind, although you're one of the best.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Conklin.
But also as a human being. You, Boynton, are the type of chap who would never let anyone down.
Oh, gosh, Mr. Conklin.
That's why I know you'll sell me that ticket and postpone your own vacation.
Postpone it? But, Mr. Conklin, I can't.
Can't? In the vocabulary of a Madison High School teacher, there is no such word as can't.
Well, then I won't. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I've worked very hard for this vacation,
Of course you have, my boy. It was selfish of me to even suggest that you give me your ticket on the train. The fact that I'm on the verge of complete mental breakdown should not sway you in the slightest.
Mental breakdown? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, chin up, boy. Wipe that frown from your face. You should be smiling. You're going on a trip. A happy, carefree trip. Forget about me trembling in my stuffy little office. You're on the train, boy. I can see you now, sitting there in that plush parlor car, the sun streaming through the windows. What's this? Conductor's approaching. Tickets? Tickets, please. Where's your ticket?
Here it is.
Thanks, Boynton. I knew you'd come through.
Here you are, miss. Seat 208.
Thank you.
Now, this bag belongs to the gentleman in the next seat. He went back to the smoking car just before we pulled out.
Oh, that's perfect. Now I can really surprise him.
Oh, you know him?
Not as well as I'm going to. That is, we've never been on a vacation together before.
Oh, that's the fellow coming down the aisle there. Oh, yes. He's got adhesive tape on his glasses.
What? Are you sure that's the man who has seat 209?
I'm positive. I parked him here myself.
Oh, well, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to face the window before he sits down.
What for?
If he sees me before he sits down, he'll fall down.
Oh, I get it. It's a rib. Tickets.
205, 207. Ah, here we are, 209. Hi-ho, to Eagle Springs we go. Well, I have a traveling companion. I don't blame you for gazing out the window. Lovely scenery, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like taking a little trip, eh?
Mm-mm.
I don't mind telling you I was a candidate for the Mayo Clinic before I got on this train. But it's going to be different now. Hi-ho, to Eagle Springs we go, and as we go I sing ho, hi-ho. Hey, look at the sun coming from behind that cloud. Shining on the window that way, it's beginning to reflect your features. Yes. There are your eyes. Nice eyes. There's your nose. Pretty nose. There's your mouth, your chin. Put them all together, and they add up.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, to the Mayo Clinic we go.
as our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight, yes, tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives you Kay Daumit's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Not a soap, not a liquid. Luster Cream shampoo leaves hair 3 ways lovelier. Fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight, yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, after I found out the identity of Mr. Boynton's summer replacement on the train, I altered my plans for the weekend. Computing the wind velocity and the rate of speed at which we were traveling, I decided not to get off until the first stop. Then I took the next train back to town. And when I arrived at the depot, I ran right into Walter Denton.
Miss Brooks, what are you doing here? You should be halfway to Eagle Springs by now.
I was, Walter, but I found out that Mr. Boynton isn't going, and I couldn't bear the thought of letting him spend the weekend alone.
Alone? But, Miss Brooks, Mr. Boynton got a last-minute cancellation and left for Eagle Springs 5 minutes ago.
What?
Sure, I drove him down.
Oh, great. Well, there's only one way I can celebrate the holiday now. I'll make an anonymous call to Mr. Conklin on Monday.
An anonymous call?
Yes, Walter. That's the 4th of July, and I'm really going to shoot off my mouth.
Next week, tune into another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Palmolive Soap, Your Beauty Hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair. Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written and directed by Al Lewis, with music by Wilbur Hatch.
Here's a money-saving offer, men. A giant tube and a large tube of Palmolive brushless shaving cream for 49 cents. Yes, a 70-cent value for only 49 cents. This offer is made solely to prove you, too, can get smoother, more comfortable shaves the Palmolive brushless way. Just follow directions on the tube and treat your face to wonderful shaves. Yes, for extra shaving comfort at extra low cost, don't miss this Palmolive brushless bargain. At drug and toilet goods counters, get both giant and large size Palmolive brushless. A 70-cent value for only 49 cents.
Last year, forest fires laid waste 30 million acres of America's timberland. This year, only you can keep it from happening again. So when you or your family are camping, motoring in, or even near a forest area, remember these 4 rules. 1, crush out, completely out, all cigarette, cigar, and pipe ashes. 2, break matches in 2 after using. 3, drown all campfires, then stir and drown again. 4, before going near timber, ask fire authorities where campfires or even smoking are permitted. Remember, another 30 million acres will burn this year unless you are careful. For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North, the exciting, fun-packed adventures of an amateur detective and his beautiful wife. Tune in Tuesday evening over most of these same stations. And be with us again at this same time next week for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Condensed Bat-Supe and the next 2 chapters of The Knights of the White Carnation from the Adventures of Superman. Thank you for listening. Be sure to tell your friends to subscribe to Bat-Supe on their favorite podcatcher. We can also be found on YouTube and Facebook. We'll see you next time for another exciting edition of Condensed Bat-Supe as we bring you more of The Knights of the White Carnation and another fine extra helping. Until then, up, and away!
so permeated with mysticism are the writings of Pierre Loti, the great French romanticist, that it comes as no surprise to us to learn that in the latter days of his life, his name was connected with a haunting mystery that has never been and perhaps will never be explained.
Dear to Pierre Loti's heart was his Oriental art collection. Of all the pieces which he had acquired through the years, the one that pleased him most was the one that he himself had created. It was a mosque, a beautiful, gleaming, domed reproduction of a Mohammedan place of worship. Though it was, of course, in miniature, it filled the greater part of the room in which it stood, and was high enough to permit a full-grown man to stand upright in it. When, after months of painstaking labor, the mosque was completed, Monsieur Loti invited his friend, Monsieur Courteline, to observe it.
A magnificent piece of work. The thing has an air about it, Pierre. An air of Eastern mystery. As if it held all the secrets that we poor Occidentals will never understand.
You are very kind, mon ami.
I'm not trying to be kind. I'm simply telling you what...
Wait a moment. What was that?
Sounded like... Listen. Mon Dieu. Pierre, it came from inside the mosque.
Yes. As if there was something in there, trying to get out.
There it is again. Come on, let's see what it is.
The two men eased themselves for the narrow entrance. They stood in the gloomy semi-darkness of the mosque's interior. It was empty, of course.
It must have been a mouse, Pierre.
It couldn't have been anything else, could it? From that day on, Pierre Loti took great care to guard his precious structure. The door to the room was always locked, and he alone had the key. During the weeks that followed, he spent many hours with his art collection. And every now and then, suddenly, without warning, it would come. Always the same number of raps. Always from inside the mosque. The first few times, Pierre Loti investigated. And then, later, he merely sat and listened and wondered. But one night, he chanced to fall asleep in the room. He was awakened shortly before midnight by the same mysterious sound. He arose from his chair and stepped inside the mosque.
Mon Dieu. No, it isn't possible.
In an instant, Pierre was at the telephone calling his friend, Courteline. A half hour later, the two men stood inside the mosque. It was brightened by the rays of a flashlight in Pierre Loti's hand.
There, on the floor, what do you see? Footprints. The footprints of young children.
Yes, clearly visible in the dust on the floor of the mosque were the impressions of children's naked feet. And yet there were no children in Pierre Loti's home, and none came to visit him. Nor was this the only time the prints were observed. No matter how often he wiped them away, they continued to reappear. Was it true, as Courteline had suggested, that the mosque held Oriental secrets which no Western mind could ever fathom? If not, then what is the explanation of this baffling riddle? A riddle incredible but true.